for the final hour today. Yours truly off to London later for the Vikings and Jets this weekend. 8:30 for the Boom Sunday and 6:30 for the pregame show. But in advance of that, let's discuss basketball with our favorite L. Lindsay Whalen joins the radio show now. What's going on there, L?
Well, 4 minutes late.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Lindsay Florio.
For 11:03, and I have stuff to do today.
Okay, so. I know. Lindsay Florio. I understand. Yeah, that. I looked at
Guess
the clock.
Guess what time tennis practice is, Paul?
L. Okay, now Lindsay.
12:15, and I got to get there and warm up.
I understand. Okay, thanks for the update on your schedule. I mean, that was much needed, and everybody in the listening audience was wondering what Lindsay Whalen was doing.
Timing is everything.
I understand. That was my L. I looked at the clock during News Du Nord. I'm sitting here wasting 90 seconds trying to find Yu Darvish's name, and I had L on the horizon. So I'm sorry, okay? You and I live by each other. I promise when I get back from England, Monday evening, I will cross the golf course. I will have you lower the drawbridge, and I will clean your moat.
I always love that one.
At that castle at which you live, okay? All right, so I'm sorry. I know you got tennis.
How's it going? Are you ready for your travel day?
Are you ready for tennis today? That's we're getting deep in the season here, and you're an athlete. You're a competitor.
Yeah, I am. I'm ready for practice week, and then match week next week. So we got to have a good one today.
On the other side of the block where I live, I got up at 4 this morning trying to get my body clock going for I can't sleep on planes. So it's not that I can't. I mean, I try, but it's just not the easiest thing in the world. Old people prefer beds. Was it easy for you to sleep on planes with all those commercial flights you took in the WNBA?
No. I think the later in my career, the harder it was to sleep on planes. I think early on I'd have to be really, really tired to actually fall asleep, especially now.
That's why I got up to 4.
I could never sleep. And even, when we were able to, like the Olympics and stuff, when we would have a charter plane, I still couldn't sleep. So no, it's, I have to just sleep when I would get there and, be able to actually lay down.
Lindsay, have you, whether it's traveling abroad with basketball or whatever, and I don't think we fly Delta. I think we fly Virgin Atlantic or Virgin Airlines, whatever it's called. But have you ever been in those sleep pods? Now, because first and foremost, have you ever been in a sleep pod on a plane?
No.
Yeah, either have I. And see, that's the mistake I made 2 years ago on the flight to London is to stretch myself out and limber up and stuff like that. I walked up front, just circumnavigating the aisles to try to stay limber, try to stay engaged in this flight. Well, then I saw people.
Smart.
No, not because I saw people in the sleep pods, and then I got mad, and then I'm like, all right.
Oh, you're talking about the people in business class?
Well, it's whatever. I mean, they're the players and the coaches, and they matter more than anybody on the flight. So this is not sleep pod envy. It's just wow, that looks so comfortable, and their blankets are thicker than mine. And my man over here brought his own pillow, and that looks super comfortable. And you can fully extend and lay down, and then that kind of got me aggravated a little bit. So then I couldn't sleep for the final 2.5 hours.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I have been in those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the business class. I have done that before. That's nice.
Favorite basketball team is 1-1, losing game 1 to your son, and then your Lynx beat your son in game 2. And first and foremost, it's just it's strange that the team with the better record now has to advance to the WNBA finals by winning a road game. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that's the challenge now that we're in, and so heading out there, it'll be tough. But these teams, I feel like I thought from the beginning it was going to go 5, and so I just think I think it's going to come down to Game 5 next week. But obviously, there's a lot of basketball to be played tomorrow night and Sunday. So yeah, it's a fight. It's a chippy series. Both teams are are physical, and they're really, pretty even talent-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've been fun games to watch, and obviously the Lynx defense was really good the other night. So it's going to be Friday and Sunday. Those are going to be two battles. But I think, it'd be great to close it out. For the Lynx, win 2 road games and close it out there. But I think it's going game 5.
Okay, now L. That's my L because I know it's a 3 of 5, but I got up at 4 a.m. to try to sleep on a plane this evening. So you know what I was talking about, but I made a mistake, and I'm glad you corrected me on that respectfully, because with Connecticut winning the first game, it's in listening to the ladies after the game, specifically Alyssa Thomas, and then I read some quotes from their coach where they were. Everything was, you come on the road to steal a win. You come on the road to steal a win. You come on the road to, it's like the Lynx seemed like a dead stone cold cinch in game 2, because I'm not kidding you. They just seemed so accepting of getting that road win that I thought mentally it was going to be difficult for them to win the second game. So Cheryl's team gets that one. But, of all this is the most WNBA that I've watched since you played. And a lot of it I would watch was because of you, because I know you. I didn't watch a lot of Connecticut this year. Watched a lot like Friday night on Ion. Not, super exciting life I have. Call races at Canterbury, get home. Then we got like Las Vegas, Seattle on Ion. And after it took me 25 minutes to find Ion, I actually would watch the games. But I didn't catch a lot of Connecticut Sun, so I'm not an elite Alyssa Thomas mind until the last 2 games. She's fantastic. She's a fantastic player. Don't you agree?
Yeah, she is. She's unbelievable. She's just such a great athlete. She seems like she could play multiple sports. She's, and she plays with both of her shoulders. She has 2 torn labrum.
Right.
And so she can hardly, I think, raise her shot is obviously, a little different looking than like your typical jump shot, but she made that really big one in game 1 from the free throw line. And she's a competitor. She is tough. Every night is a triple-double watch for her. And, obviously she was on the World Cup team and now this latest Olympic team. And she does so much from that kind of point forward position, and she's had to, I think, handle the ball a little more now that, their starting point guard, Ty Harris, went out after the first round. So she's fun to watch. She's very physical. She's not afraid. I think there was some, just a ton of physicality, especially when Maisha Heinz-Allen was guarding her.
Yep.
Neither player is afraid of contact, and so it's just, it's physical, and Alyssa Thomas, she's gonna impose her will on both ends, and being able to slow her down is going to be a key for us come tomorrow night.
Dejanay Carrington. I've watched her, I've seen her before, but I watched her more closely these last 2 games. She's slithery, quite the player too. But, when Kayla McBride fouled her, and I guess it was an aggressive foul, and there nearly was a fight. She popped up, then Mabry came over and got her and pulled her away from it. But from that moment on, it seemed like a last-ditch effort by Connecticut to be like, you know what, if we can't beat you, we're going to try to beat you up, suck you into some stuff that gets you off your game, and then maybe we'll win. Did you see it that way?
Yeah, I thought that there was just chippiness throughout, and yeah, I agree. Like you said, those last maybe 3 or 4 minutes, it was, how can we try to, they didn't have their A game. The Lynx defense held them under 40% shooting. So, just a little bit of, which is the playoffs. You get desperate at times. And so I think that came out a little bit. And, Kayla got, I felt like all ball. I don't even remember if a foul was called on that play. I probably was, just of the way it kind of went down. And, all that stuff is just a little bit of, obviously if you get fouled super hard, you're going to have something to say, but when it comes to this time of year, like, all that stuff to me is just such wasted energy.
Yeah.
And you have to do everything you can do to just like guard your player and, understand the game plan.
Mm-hmm.
So all that stuff, it's like, none of it led to anything other than just, quick little highlight on like social media and stuff. But it is physical. There's no question. And I just think the team that handles physicality, plays through with poise, is going to come out in the series and ultimately be the one that's heading to the WNBA finals. And we sure hope it's the Lynx.
Lastly, it happened yesterday when you and I were texting, where I'm setting up the 11:03. I got to negotiate with your people, who are you, because the tennis coming up at noon. So then I throw a 9 something out, and you're like, "Nyet." So we settle on the 11:03. Then I'm late. Go on, and then Lindsay Florio lets me and us hear about it. But I text you trying to set up something to talk about the Lynx, the WNBA. Your next 5 texts were about the Vikings against the Jets. I mean, you're so fired up for this game this weekend, aren't you, Al?
I am. Well, I'm gonna have to obviously set an alarm and get up early for that one. But it's it's what I have to do as a fan. But I am excited. I get that you want to grow the game and play all over the world. But I don't know. I just we're in such a good rhythm that to fly across the world. I mean, somewhat across the world. I'm just tense for the game on Sunday. I'm just getting a little worked up, and I just want us to obviously keep it going. But it's just, I feel like if we were at home or even in New York, let's go. We're gonna, pull it out. But now there's this element of that. I'm happy afterwards that we have a bye after, right? So we can rest a little bit.
Yeah.
And heal up some of these injuries that kind of come up here and there. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about these London games, to be honest with you. I don't know. I get it, but yet as a fan, I'm like, of my team, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. So that's my long story longer.
Right. But Lindsay, you in closing, you also know what championship teams look and feel like. And this undefeated Vikings team is like number 1 in every single human's power rankings, or at least every .com's power rankings. You're an elite football mind, Lindsay Whalen. You sense O'Connell's group is onto something big, and you don't want to get it messed up to market the NFL by playing in London.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, if I was from an NFL, if I was in the front office, I would want to do it. But as sitting here, #skull, right. I'm apprehensive, but I'm saying I have a lot of faith. #faith in Flores, McConnell, and the team, because they just look like they've got it, and I'm happy. I'm excited for the year, and it's just fun to watch. They're playing really, really well, obviously, other than the second half in Green Bay.
Well, make sure you rest well, okay? Because we have the boom at 8:30 in the morning, Miss Whalen. Fantastic work as usual, and I'll see you when I get back, all right?
Okay. Travel safe, okay?
Yep, thank you. Favorite Al, Lindsay Whalen, the bomb, salt of the earth, 11:20. Let's jump over the pond and chat with Peter Carline. Pita used to write for the Daily Mail. My man's moving on up. He's working for The Athletic now. He's going to cover the game for The Athletic from a British perspective, and he lives just outside of London. Pita Carline is next.
The Fan and two men in a truck, want to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword cash. You might win some, as in $1,000. Keyword cash. KFAN.
Pita, it's Paul Allen. How are you?
Very well, Paul. Yourself?
Quite well, thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. About hour and change outside of London proper with Tottenham Hotspur. But I guess I'll see you practice tomorrow. And Peter, who's been on the radio show frequently over the years, now writes for The Athletic. So you can learn more about Peter, follow his career at Peter Carline. That's where you find him via Twitter. It's Peter Carline. How's the weather over there, and what are we expecting Sunday at Tottenham Hotspur?
Well, Paul, I was going to tell you, it's the first day in about 3 weeks it hasn't rained.
Yeah.
So obviously the weather gods are smiling on the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
I think the weather is going to be about the same on Sunday. So let's hope for a dry game. It's the same for both teams. But yeah, let's hope the Vikings get off to a fast start like they did at Lambeau Field last Sunday.
I'm sure you know this because you're an elite football and football mind. But your favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings, only have trailed for 3 minutes, 26 seconds this season. Isn't that amazing through 4?
It is genuinely amazing. And it's truly wonderful to see. Yeah, I mean, what an incredible start to the season. Few, not even ardent Vikings fans, would have predicted they'd be 4-0, but here we go with the chance to go 5-0 with that nice man Aaron Rodgers. Be good to get one over him again too, because the last time he played at Tottenham, he wasn't very happy either. He lost to the Giants when he was a Packer. So yeah, bring it on.
What surprises you more through 4 games, Mr. Peter Carline? The Minnesota Vikings being 4-0, Patrick Jones leading them in sacks with 5, or Camus Grugier-Hill leading them in interceptions with 2. Which is more of a shaka?
I can't pick one. I think they're all equal shockers, aren't they? It's great. I mean, what an incredible the scouting, the personnel they've brought in. Grugier-Hill, and we haven't missed Ivan Pace, have we? He should be back, although he should be back this on Sunday. Am I right?
Right, I would think so. Yes, but you're going to be at practice tomorrow. You'll know as much as me.
I think you know more than anyone, Paul. But yes, I'll look forward to finding out tomorrow in practice.
How just overall, because it's a worldly affair, and so let's see, we have a boom at noon, so that means 6 p.m. on Sundays you're watching games. If we have night games, then you're up at the wee hours following Vikings football. So you don't get this often when your favorite team comes over to your chosen land, to where you live. So just how excited are you for this game?
I'm very excited. Professionally, this is just another week for me covering the NFL, because as an employee of the Athletic, I have no favour to certain teams. I mean, it's the 4th time the Vikings have visited. The first game was a bit late, wasn't it, at Wembley? The second one at Twickenham, is it about the same time? And then the 2 Tottenham games have been sort of, they're quite early for English people, but obviously even earlier for Minnesotans. But yeah, can't wait. Really, it's great to have the NFL back again, and especially with the Minnesota Vikings. Is
the NFL, is it continuing to grow in the UK? And like with Sky Sports, okay, so they carry Florio's ProFootballTalk.com via Peacock. Florio tells me it's incredibly popular over there. But when it comes to the growth of the NFL and the Brits really embracing A, the game, but B, the nuance of the game, is that happening?
Yeah, it is happening, Paul. I would say that. I mean, if you go on the tube, you're always going to see, you get on the tube and you see someone wearing a Bengals cap or what have you. The amount of NFL merchandise is very noticeable to see. In terms of the games, what I would say, I went to Germany last year, and that was like being at a game in America. The German fans know when to cheer. Wow. They know when to stay quiet. I would still say that the English fans are catching up in that effect.
What Peter Carline, he writes about football for The Athletic at Peter Carline, Carline, via the X machine. What so when did you land this post at The Athletic, and what exactly are you doing?
I landed the post at The Athletic. My starting day was about 3 weeks ago, September the 13th. Wow. So this is only my 3rd week. Mm-hmm. I am basically editing copy and writing about the NFL as much as possible.
Right.
Bring it on.
So you work on the desk.
I spoke to Jared Allen last week. Minnesota Vikings, great. He'll be in England too, and hopefully I'll have a pint and some bangers and mash with him tomorrow.
No, that'd be fantastic. He's coming to the game.
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, wow.
The Vikings are bringing out Randall's coming, Chris Carter's coming, Jake Reed's coming, Adrian Peterson's coming, Jared Allen's coming. It's just missing Randy Moss.
Oh, wow, that's going to be fantastic. Throwing it back, yes, and an old school feel to a new school stadium, and now having called a game at Wembley and been to Twickenham, and second time Tottenham Hotspur for me. I mean, it's like U.S. Bank Stadium in the United States of America. It's Voxes or players or coaches will come. They'll just like look around in amazement, and they'll be like, "Wow, this is the most technologically sound, best stadium in the National Football League." And Tottenham Hotspur is like that for soccer over there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an excellent Premier League ground. I think it's an even better NFL ground. Something about it. US Bank Stadium is higher for me, but you mentioned Wembley. I don't know. Wembley's got 90,000 seats, so that's why Mr. Khan likes playing there. I thought NFL worked really well at Twickenham, but in terms of having it home, I think it works. I think Tottenham's brilliant. The atmosphere is fantastic. There's not a bad seat in the house. Yeah.
Oh, there's not. I mean, you're right. Well, with the exception of the visiting Vox box, which ain't the greatest, and it's enclosed.
I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. You came by 2 years ago. It's enclosed like a conference room, but that's okay. We only get there every so often, and it's more about the trip and the game anyway. And but with Wembley, I mean, it's everything entertainment immortality. I mean, I'm like when we rolled into Wembley in 2013 to topple Big Ben. All I could think about was Freddie Mercury relatively close to death performing with Queen, even before that movie came out. Wembley's unbelievably cool.
Yeah, but they knocked that one down, Paul. Oh. They built that one into they built it on the same site.
What?
Tottenham is a better ground for me. The old Wembley, fantastic. Yeah, open, vast, Live Aid, exactly. You've got it. And the Twin Towers, they knocked that down. And instead you've got this rather large, I'm going to call it a white elephant, cost a fortune.
Ooh. I'm going to unfurl some and we used to do this. I haven't done it in quite some time, and it generally elicits a chuckle from you, Peter Carline at Peter Carline. Well, I didn't even do a word yet, and then there's the chuckle. Got a little Alec Lewis to him on the other side of the pond. All right, 3-2. So I'm going to go through some words that seem to be unto England or London or the Brits, and tie them to a Vikings player. And then you come up with the player and then a Y if you have it, and I'll come up with the word. Are you ready?
Current, past, any Vikings player?
It's going to be current. You ready?
Okay.
Ready. Of everybody on the roster, despite the 4-0 start, which player either makes you feel or plays in a fashion that would be described as dodgy?
Ingram, maybe. Ed Ingram.
Oh, that's great. Okay, what about, hopefully I say it right, chuffed? Which player makes you chuffed?
Oh, I mean, where'd you probably bring out the Gink, mate? Van Ginkel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and chuffed is like free-spiritedly happy, right?
You're happy, you're delighted, you're so pleased, you're chuffed. Yeah, you're chuffed. Everything's gone the right way.
Yes, Van Ginkel, I love him too. Rock Valley, go crazy. Okay, are any of the Minnesota Vikings players taking the mickey?
No, they wouldn't do that. Not the Vikings. We're not, we don't have Aaron Rodgers type characters in the Minnesota Vikings. I think the front office have done an exceptional job. There's no red flags with any of the Minnesota Vikings.
Of the Vikings that you know or that you follow from afar, Peter, which player would you describe as cheeky?
Cheeky? Cheeky.
Yes, cheeky.
Cheeky.
He's quite the cheeky lad.
He's a cheeky fella. I mean, Gilmore's a bit old to be cheeky, but Gilmore's got, Gilmore can give it, can't he?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go Gilmore.
Okay. What about Barmy? Any of our players or scenarios Barmy?
Pace, Ivan Pace is Barmy. He's nuts, isn't he? He's just like just does not care about his body.
How does one avoid flying across the pond, either your side to mine or mine to yours, and not become knackered?
I don't think there is a way. You either take some sedative on the plane or fight through it. But you're going to be knackered whatever happens. It's easier flying my way to you. Flying from America to England always knocks me out for days, really.
And lastly, this has been working on me for a good 72 hours, and I'm really glad we have you here to help me through it. In the second half of second half of the Packers game. I mean, our defense versus Green Bay was faffing around the second half. Didn't you think we were faffing around too much?
I thought we were faffing around. Yeah, they were a bit lackadaisical, weren't they? The Vikings. But they got there in the end. They pulled through. They came up trumps. It was a blinder. I'm trying to think of other, and it was a very priceless win against a storied opponent in their backyard.
Mm-hmm. You're ballyhooed, and we thank you very much for your inclusion, 9 to noon. And I look forward to seeing you either in the lobby at the hotel or down by the field or whatever. It's a beautiful setting, as you'll remember from 2013. And thanks for coming.
You love it, don't you? Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow, Paul.
Thanks for coming on the radio show, okay?
Cheerio. Bye-bye.
Cheerio. Last name Carline, first name Pita. You can follow his work at The Athletic. We're going to conclude with a 6-pack of picks. We're going to unfurl some touts around the corner on KFAN.
I can't wait until tomorrow.
6-pack of picks time.
Why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet? Then we'll go out back, I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
My picks in the 6-pack generally have been awful, and that is a common thread for yours truly. When I make picks on Thursday, it's like if I were doing this for real, like when sports betting goes live in this state, and some things transpire here and other places. It's now for a Thursday night game, that's different. But for those who follow it or do it, I ain't shipping my money in on a Thursday for something that's going to take place on a Sunday. Because the injury reports aren't done. The practice elevations matter more than people think, because you can then kind of tell who's nicked up or who's out on a Saturday. But the 6-pack of picks is something that we do 9 to noon. I'm not sure how your picks have gone this year. I would guess it feels like a 500, something like that, maybe.
I'm in that neighborhood, but I was awful this last night. I got the Bears.
Yeah.
I was 1 and 2.
So, for the purpose of the bit, 6-pack of picks, here's the deal. I, off the cuff, like under Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Cleveland, absolutely, positively has to win this week. I can't even remember who they're playing. But I'll take Cleveland on the money line. And, I'm going to take the Las Vegas Raiders, because I don't think anybody on the team wants Devontae Adams on the team anymore. So I think the squares are going to look at it like that there's uncertainty or second guessing, or, the dogs are going to be mad at the regime because Devontae wants out. I actually think it's the other way. I think they're happy to see him go. And they're playing well right now. So I will go Cleveland Raiders under Tampa Bay Atlanta. You?
Man, Cleveland on the road at those Commanders.
Sure, why not?
Stefanski, they got to win. You're right. At 1 and 3 in that division, it's got to happen.
Well, Washington will have a regression to the mean.
Certainly.
I mean, it doesn't have to go from 10 to 2. But it can, and
it could happen against Garrett Wilson, Myles Garrett and that defense.
But and then that's the thing. It's like, when I remembered yesterday we're doing 6-pack of picks before I sent you the set list. I looked at Cleveland's injuries just for a second. There's Njoku. There's another guy whose name I recognize. That's the negative thing here is they're not down like a laundry list of players. So, I mean, I haven't looked.
What if it's a slow start because they had everybody? I mean, remember Dalvin Tomlinson wasn't playing? Like when you guys did the joints.
Yeah.
That half their freaking team was on the mend in some way or another.
Well, we're 23% into it. So I can hear that games 1 and 2.
It's time to wake up.
It's the quarterback.
Yeah.
It's the quarterback, what people think about him in the locker room, the trust or lack thereof people have putting things in. So I'm just, I'm pulling for Stefanski hard because I love the guy. So I'm going Cleveland money line, Raiders money line, under in tonight's game.
Ooh, I like that. I like these guys on the road.
Here's the snap. Hand off to Johnson. Going to bust it outside. It's a race to the pylon, and he is in. And Buffalo is in business. A 3-yard touchdown run by Ty Johnson.
That's Buffalo Radio. They're 1-point favorites at the Texans this weekend, and the Texans just cannot get out of the gates in their game, save for that. And even, frankly, it was like 15-14 into the fourth quarter in their opening week victory against the Colts, and it was predicated on Joe Mixon running for a mile. Yeah. They're having trouble right now, struggling with a team who, by the way, got run over by the Ravens. I know that in primetime last weekend.
I like that. I think
they get a fast start against the Texans, and they improved to 4-1 as 1-point favorites.
Yeah.
I'm liking these guys. This one's going to bite me. This is why I'm going to go 1 and 2.
Stafford brings a man in motion. Tyler Johnson opens up, gives to Kyron Williams over the left side into the end zone. Touchdown, Kyron Williams. Touchdown, LA. For the 7th consecutive game, Kyron Williams has a rushing touchdown.
Wow.
They are 3-point dogs hosting the Packers.
Yeah, I looked at that game for a little bit. That's a hard game to figure.
I know it is, and I'm betting. What am I doing? I'm playing against two different things. It's LaFleur and McVay right now. McVay wants to beat the kid. Jordan Love struggled mightily in the first half. Did find his legs against him. I'm just betting that McVay can still stiff arm the younger protege style coach in Matt LaFleur, because similarly to the Cleveland Browns, their season's over.
Yeah.
Their season is over if they fall to 1-4 in that division with the Seahawks. I think they bounce back this weekend. They're like touchdown favorites against the Giants. Their season is done. If they lose this game, they're +3. If you're going to give me a field goal, I'm going to take those points, and I'm going to bet on the Los Angeles Rams.
I would money line it if I were you. I mean, because it's like I ain't going to play that.
What are you going to get? Let me see here.
Like +140, something like that.
Yeah, let's get that plus money. Okay.
Here's the only problem with the theory that I would have, having spent all of 82 seconds looking at it, is the LA Rams. They may have won their 2024 Super Bowl 2 weeks ago in beating the 49ers and the way they beat them. Because then after that, they got destroyed last week against somebody. And now they're back at home. But this is, we know SoFi.
Yeah.
And this ain't the Jaguars or Texans fan base coming to SoFi. These are the cheeseheads. They will have 70% of the building.
They'll be uncomfortable. Those seats aren't built for the Sydneys of the world.
So this is kind of a road game for the Rams. That was great. I loved how you banged your hand down, leaned back, and chortled at your own joke.
Laughed
I do
at
that
myself.
too. No, it was funny though. But I mean, that was a big one right there.
Oh, and I like the Steelers favored against the Cowboys.
Harris to the left in the shotgun. Gets the snap.
That's got to be about 2, right?
Looking.
Yeah, I think it's 2.5.
Has some room, and Fields will run in for a score 5 yards out, and the Steelers get the touchdown with 2:53 remaining here in the third quarter.
They're sticking with Justin Fields. I like him. Oh, I thought that was sitting behind me.
One of many things that makes you great is our adoration and love for each other. Is ever since I caught that stray in the story, I haven't even asked you to do anything. You've just taken shots at the Cowboys left and right.
Well, it's not working for them right now, and they're in full treading water territory. That division in totality. What about the Commanders potentially winning that division this year with all those struggles?
Yeah,
it's a team with preseason uneven instability.
Yeah,
and that's carrying on into the season. And that Steelers defense is absolutely unbeatable right now, and they're imperfect offensively, but a healthy run game potentially. I need to see what's going on with Jalen Warren, but I think Fields is going to be solid on the ground this weekend. That defense handles their business, and the Steelers are victorious at formerly Heinz. I don't even know what the hell it's called now.
And who is Pittsburgh playing?
Pittsburgh's hosting the Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Then I'll give you the money to triple your bet. I'm on your side 10 out of 10. Thank you very much for listening to 9 to Noon. You will hear from me at some point tomorrow from London. Oh, goody. During the Friday football feast. We'll figure out the time and all that kind of stuff. But Nordo and Charch will be by your side for the majority of the show. Then the boom. Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Central against the Jets. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Paul Allen. Here comes Nordo with that wrap on the show.
Good stuff.
The game is over.
Now, what did I do wrong?
Vikings eastbound to touchdown across the pond in jolly old London town, drinking room temperature ale. It's brown. You're coming home making Rodgers look like a sad clown. And while some seasons are already tanking, our squad's sitting atop the power rankings. But how will they handle the prosperity? To even question that requires a bit of temerity. I mean, Wolves fans trying to get a handle on adding DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. Yesterday, delicate dance during our show. Trade was unofficial with a news embargo. But tomorrow it's an in-studio feast. Expect rubidity and the takes to be increased. Charge leading the way on the fantasy beat. His assless chaps never stick to his seat.
Puppy.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.